Hello again, everyone. This is Chris Shear, and that's Robert Harding. And this is the Citizen Sports Weekly for Thursday, February 4th, 2016. It is Super Bowl time.
Super Bowl time.
Oh, boy.
Only a few days away.
I can hardly wait.
It all comes down to this.
Yes. Unfortunately, Robert's teams and my teams, the Dolphins and the Bills, are not in the Super Bowl again, but we'll survive somehow. And we'll get through. But it's the Broncos and the Panthers, and
good game.
This has potential to be a good game, and it also has potential to be a blowout, I think.
Like a couple years ago.
Right. And if you remember a couple years ago, we kind of went against, I went against the norm. I picked the Seahawks 2 years ago.
Yes.
And I said it's because of their great defense. I said defense wins championships. They had the best defense in the NFL. I figured they were going to get to Peyton Manning. That Richard Sherman was going to have a great game. That I just figured Seattle's defense was going to be the determining factor in this game, and that Seattle's offense was good enough that they were going to win that game. And most people were picking the Broncos because of Peyton Manning. He had such a great season, and look what happened. Seattle won. So now we have Denver, which has the best defense in the NFL. Denver is third against the rush and number one against the pass. So they are the overall number one defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And that old cliche, defense wins championships, right?
That is the old cliche.
Right.
Yeah.
Except this year.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I'm going Carolina. There it is. It's out.
The secret's out.
The Panthers out of the bag. All right? I'm going with the Panthers. Here's the thing about the Panthers, okay? They like to run the football. Yeah. They are second in the NFL in running the football. And yes, they are going up against the number 3 rushing defense in the league. And that's really where the game is going to be determined. Okay, you can talk about turnovers and penalties and stupid mistakes, things like that. But Carolina runs the football. For all we hear about Cam Newton, okay, and he's had a great year and he's the MVP, running the football is the Panthers' bread and butter. And that's where they're going to win the football game. I think they're going to be able to establish enough of a ground game. And I think Cam Newton is the key, too, because obviously he can tuck it in and he can run. And that's a big factor. I'm not saying he's going to run the ball a lot, but I'm saying there's going to be some times he's going to have to make plays with his legs. And I like him more doing that than Peyton Manning, unfortunately. And I think the other factor is I think the Panthers' defense, which is not a great defense, but I think it's going to be good enough. They're 11th against the pass overall. Mm-hmm. Okay, and they are 4th against the run. So I think if you're Carolina, you want to shut down the run, and you want to make Denver pass, and then you want to get to Peyton Manning, and that's all she wrote. So I think that's going to be the key to the game. Carolina stuffing the run, and then establishing the run. If they do those two things, then I think they're going to win this football game.
Yeah. Good take. I'm taking the Panthers. By the way, shout out to my good friend Mike Higgs, a groomsman in my wedding, and a big Panthers fan.
Good for him.
So this is a highlight for him for sure.
Oh, enjoy it.
So he, you got to enjoy these moments because I can think back to when I was a kid and watching the Bills in the Super Bowl. Watching your team in the Super Bowl is definitely worth it. But
31 years, yeah.
Yeah. For me, the keys, for the Panthers. It is the defense. I think Carolina on offense, going up against the Broncos defense, certainly a tough matchup. But, the Panthers defense in the playoffs, go back to the Seahawks game when, the Panthers got out to that big lead and then let Seattle get back in it. You can't do that. I don't care how old Peyton Manning is, he'll find a way to take advantage, and whether that's on the ground with C.J. Anderson, or whether it's through the air, he's got plenty of weapons. So, you don't want to let him. You don't want to let him get hot, especially at 39, because he'll destroy you. For Denver, I really think it comes down to Peyton Manning. I think if he plays well, they have a shot to win this game. I think the defense will take. This is going to be a low-scoring Super Bowl, I think.
I'll tell you this: Peyton Manning. He can't look. He has not been the Peyton Manning that we know last few weeks. Okay,
he's not throwing for 300 yards.
No, he is not going to light. He's not going to light it up. Basically, Peyton Manning is going to be a game manager here. Okay, he's going to avoid turnovers, avoid interceptions, and they're going to run around the football. Maybe they'll do some short passing. I don't know, but Peyton Manning is not going to win you the game, but he sure as heck can lose you the game. Okay?
I don't know. I think he can win you the game if he's, especially going up against this defense and the tough run defense that Carolina has. If you're not getting the ball, if you're not moving the ball using the run, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
And so, that's where, and, this goes back to a couple weeks ago, I think, when Peyton made his first start and, he was throwing the ball. He looked okay. I mean, the balls, he didn't have any, good spirals or anything, but the drops is what killed him. He could have had a big day. But I think the bottom line is, the Panthers are just too good.
Yeah.
With, the MVP, Cam Newton, that a good defense, they can get the job done, and the rushing attack. I mean, Jonathan Stewart, all these guys.
Yeah.
What's amazing to me about Carolina is that Cam lost his number one receiver.
Yeah.
They're without their top guy. And,
Ted Ginn Jr.
and he still manages to, make big plays through the air. I mean, that's impressive.
But you know what Denver's passing offense is ranked? 24th. They're not they're not Air Coryell or, they're not a great passing team, but they make plays. They run the football. That's their bread and butter. So, and I want to add this about Denver, and if you're a Denver fan, don't take this personally or anything like that, but you want to say, I think you could say that Denver's been a little bit lucky here getting to the Super Bowl. The first game against the Steelers were banged up offensively.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger wasn't healthy. They were missing their top running back and their top wide receiver, okay? If those three guys are all healthy and playing, I think Pittsburgh wins that game, okay? Number one. The game against the Patriots, if you're a Patriots fan, I think you got to be upset because you should have won that game. Think about it. If they don't miss the extra point and if they kick a couple field goals here and there, they're going to win that game, okay? Yeah. Denver's defense is the reason why Denver's in the Super Bowl, not Denver's offense, not Peyton Manning, okay? They're there because in spite of Peyton Manning, if anything, it's Denver's defense, okay? And they did a great job on Tom Brady in the first half, okay? I'll give you that. And obviously they did an excellent job against the Steelers. But I think those games were more that the other teams did more to lose the game than Denver did to win the game. And I think now they're facing a team that has, I think, the best quarterback in the NFL today, the best running game in the NFL today, and a defense, their defense is not as good as Denver's, but I think it's good enough to get the job done. So unless Denver's defense plays the game of their lives, and it's possible they could, and Denver can win this game. I'm not saying they have no chance. They have a chance. They can win it, okay? But their defense is literally going to have to play the game of their lives, hold Carolina under 2 touchdowns. I would say if Carolina scores more than 17 points, then they're most likely going to win this. I'm sorry. If Carolina scores less than 17 points, they're most likely going to lose this game, okay? So that's the number, I think, if you're the Denver defense, you're saying we can't let them score more than 17. So I think it could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. And again, I like Carolina.
Yeah. There's a chance that this is going to be a repeat of 2 years ago. There's also a chance we could see kind of a Giants-Patriots dynamic here. The Panthers are a high-scoring team.
Yeah.
The Broncos, like you said, certainly luck has been on their side, no question about it. To play the Steelers, the Steelers at one time, people were like, this team can roll through the AFC because Roethlisberger was healthy. They had Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, of course, and then all three of those guys are either out or banged up for the Denver game. It could go either way. If Denver's defense plays out of its mind, then things get interesting.
Yeah.
Because if, no one has been able to really stop Cam Newton this year, with the exception of the Atlanta Falcons.
I'll tell you this. What I saw I wasn't a Carolina believer, okay? And then when I saw what they did to Seattle, that made me a believer. Because think about it. Seattle arguably should have won the last 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And they got absolutely dismantled by Carolina in that first half. And I just think Seattle got back in it just because Carolina just didn't, they didn't want to get anybody hurt. They just kind of took the foot off the accelerator there, okay? Yeah. I think Carolina's clearly the best team in the NFL. They've only lost 1 game, and you could say that was a fluke. So, I'm a believer now. I'm going with the Panthers.
Yeah, it's tough to pick against them. After watching a lot of their games this year, and especially, almost going undefeated in the regular season, they had that one blemish, but such a great, well-rounded team.
Yeah.
They have the defense, solid enough on special teams, and then Cam Newton leading the way on offense.
Yeah.
Tough team to beat.
Anything else you want to add, Robert?
I'm all set.
All right, folks, that's it. Hey, next week we will kind of do a little bit of a look back at the Super Bowl and some of the commercials, too. We always like to do that.
Yep.
And
Top 5.
I know. I can't believe this is it. The last NFL game of the season, last football game of the season. Hard to believe. No, we're not doing any specials on the combine. We're not going to get into that stuff. We'll probably do a little bit of draft talk around April when it would actually mean something. But I guess we'll have to find something new to talk about in a couple of weeks then. So
yeah.
Right. All right, folks. Hey, enjoy the Super Bowl. Don't drink and drive, folks. Be careful when you're watching that game. Don't do anything stupid. Okay, we want you to watch our next video. Enjoy the game.